It truly is one of the final few frontiers for Team India to conquer. They've done it in Australia twice. They came so close to doing it in England. The final stamp on that is yet to be put. South Africa remains one of those last few countries where Team India haven't won a test series. Now this time around, if they have to make history, they will look at some key players and their performances. We've compiled a list of the 5 players that we will have our eyes on come the South Africa versus India test series. Here's a look. The roulette that is India's opening slot in Test cricket, you don't get an opportunity very quickly. If you get one, you make sure that you cash in on it. Something that KL Rahul did really well against England. Shubman Gill was injured, then Mayank Agarwal was injured in the build-up to that series. KL Rahul got an opportunity to open the batting and he grabbed it with both the hands. He ended the series before the postponement of that final test happened as India's second highest run getter and the third highest run getter in that series. He was making those crucial partnerships up top, holding India in good stead. Now, with India's leading run getter in tests absent in the form of Rohit Sharma, massive load of responsibility falls on KL Rahul's shoulders. The pitches in South Africa are true. The bounce there is true, the pace there is true, and all of us know what KL Rahul does when the ball comes onto the bat. He just has to get settled there. If he gets settled, he will score big. And that is why we'll have our eyes on KL Rahul. Talk of enhanced responsibility, there's a big load on Ravichandran Ashwin's shoulders too. Remember, he's going into the series as India's lead spinner, Ravindra Jadeja, is out injured. It's a hat though that our Ashwin would have liked to don in England as well, but couldn't. Here in South Africa, he has an opportunity, but South Africa isn't the best of places for spinners to bowl. His own record in the country isn't great, but that's where Ashwin does so well. This year has been his year in Test cricket. 52 wickets, the most for any bowler in the calendar year. By the time the year ends, he'd like to add a few more to that tally and also prove a few more points. When you talk of points to prove, there'd be very few who'd have more points to prove than Cheteshwar Pujara. Once an automatic inclusion, the name that would write itself in India's Test 11, his form has been dwindling. Since the start of 2020, the runs have dried up, that average has crept below 30. And those centuries that Indian fans were so used to seeing from Cheteshwar Pujara, the daddy centuries, they are absent. But here's the thing with players like Cheteshwar Pujara, you can't always measure the impact of their performances in mere numbers. Look at the knocks that he played first in Sydney and then at the Gabba to script India's historic series win down under. And even in England, that 91 at Leeds, that brilliant half-century at the Oval. So it's not like the runs have alienated him completely, but he'd like to get them more consistently. But he's going to South Africa, a place where he doesn't like to bat. At least the numbers say that. Can he turn the tables around this time around? There's pressure on him. There are question marks on his spot in that Indian team. We know he's a fighter and Indian fans would want him to come out swinging. Come out swinging did Jasprit Bumrah in his first ever test series. Away from home, he was fast-tracked into the test side. He was taking on South Africa in South Africa. But he did not disappoint at the big stage. Ended the tour as India's second highest wicket taker in that series with 14 wickets, only one behind Mohammad Shami who had 15. And ever since he was propelled into Test cricket, he has dominated. And how? Since his debut, no other Indian pacer has picked as many wickets as Jasprit Bumrah. He's the leader of that pace attack, and naturally so. Come this South Africa series, a refreshed, replenished Jasprit Bumrah would be raring to go, and all eyes of Indian fans will be on Boom Boom Bumrah. When you talk of Test cricket in challenging conditions for Team India, and you talk of players to watch out for, the one name that writes itself down almost every time is that of Indian captain Virat Kohli. The last 2 years, though, have been peculiar for Kohli. The century that he'd made a habit of scoring every time he walked out to bat has eluded him, and that has started to reflect in numbers as well. The last 2 years have been the only 2 years since his Test debut year that his average has fallen under 30. Now, South Africa is a country where batters struggle to find form. Kohli is going in there with not a lot of runs under his belt, but he loves batting in South Africa and he loves challenges. There's no Rohit Sharma up top, there's a shaky middle order, he has an unenviable form. All things point to just one thing: Virat Kohli packed against the wall and he will come out swinging. It'll be interesting to see how he does that, because if he does, the fans will be in for a treat. Those are our picks for the 5 Indian players to watch out for in the South Africa versus India Test series. Does your list look different? Don't forget to share it with us. Anyway, we're on every social media platform. Also, remember the test series starts on Boxing Day. There's extensive coverage that we've planned for you right here on Cricbuzz, so do stay tuned.